We got David Tieck up in here. And let's get him rocked in. Sweet, Dave. We got you introed with little Mario because that's the world you live in. That's the shit. I love it. What's up, man?
Love it, man. How you doing?
Oh, man. Good, man. Floating around the States now.
Love it.
Where are you at now? You're in Oz still?
I am in Sydney, Australia right now.
Okay, so you're an author of 3 books, actor in commercials.
I am.
And improv specials. How did you get all involved in this? What's this world all about? Tell us about
it. Well, it was a slow process for me. I started out in the share market, stock market, Wall Street type stuff. I did that for years and years and years, and hated every second of my life. And I just I decided at one point that I wasn't living an interesting enough life, so I decided to start doing stuff I'd never done before as often as I could, which turned into losing my virginity 52 times, which turned into, when I did the media for that, I ended up getting into improv, and then I started chasing improv all over the world, and it's led to acting, and it just keeps growing and growing.
Damn, so you just like unplug, you're like, let's go fly, let's go live this life. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Very similar story.
Yeah.
So tell me about the moment you grabbed your backpack, you were heading out to Europe to try to find yourself. What was going through your head, and what kind of led to that adventure?
Well, it's kind of if I put it together, there's this movie called Fever Pitch that I like to let little indie British movies change my life. Fever Pitch was remade in America by the Farrelly brothers at some point, but the original Fever Pitch was a movie about this soccer obsessed guy, and because of that guy, I became a soccer fan, and because of getting into soccer, I decided to go to Europe to go and see some soccer, and I fell in love with Europe. I like to just follow the small little things and then just keep going. So when I went to Europe, I was the shyest guy on earth. The thought of staying in hostels just scared the crap out of me. And I figured maybe that would help me get over my shyness. So I just did it. I did 6 months.
Damn. So you had the funds saved up, you had this sort of inspiration, because Oz has this travel culture. But again, coming from a shy person, you were just like, damn, where do I go next? What kind of what was some of the top moments in Europe that you kind of remember, like, that just kind of broke you out of your shell?
Yeah. Well, let me see.
X-rated.
You want some X-rated? I wish I had more X-rated stuff happen to me on that trip. There was lots of X-rated stuff going on adjacent to me. I know my best friend who I was traveling with decided to skip the Eiffel Tower because there was a girl in the hostel that had a nipple ring, and he said, "Oh, I'd rather see that." So he missed out on the Eiffel Tower. But I remember, I'll tell you a story. I remember when I was in Spain, I was staying in this house with these 2 Swedish girls who were 18 years old. And they were so skinny that we went to the beach with them, and their bikini bottoms went over their hips, but there was just a big gap between where their hips were, like with a view right down to the fun zone.
The fun zone.
And so because of those girls, we were staying in a hostel with them, and me and my friends kept getting nice glimpses of near, the pathway to joy, and so this one night we were there, and my mate cooked dinner for him, and the rule with us was whoever cooked, the other person had to do the cleaning up. But I couldn't be asked to do the cleaning up, so I just left it all in the sink, And then I came home in the middle of the night, and I was like, oh, we're going to get kicked out of here if we don't do the dishes. That was one of the rules. So like 4 a.m, I got out of bed and I was washing all the dishes with my bare hands because there was no scrubbing brushes. And I was like picking all the food off with my fingers. And then I finally come back to bed and my mate says, oh, don't do the dishes. I just had the worst spew in there.
Oh, no.
And yeah, that's where that's what the kind of adventures you get on in Europe. And I would never have done that if it wasn't for the Swedish girl. So, you know, you learn things.
The Swedish essence will get you to do things. Yes, I remember motorcycle traveling to India with some Swedish fellows, and awesome travelers they are. They're very cool. Do you have a favorite kind of country that kind of has the most outrageous spirit? Is there anyone that like, sticks out and say, hey guys, you should definitely travel that. You should do this adventure when you hit that spot?
Okay, well, there's lots of good stuff. If you want to party, go to Spain. I was just talking about Spain. One of the you guys are all American, right? Well, you got to get used to the nudity that you see on beaches around Europe. If you stick around to the beaches in Spain and in Holland, even people go to the beach with their parents and get topless. It's like such a part of the culture. So I'm trying to avoid mentioning how young some of the girls that you'll see topless on the beaches in Europe are, but they start young, and the legal age is young. So good lesson for Americans to go explore that. Other than that, my favorite place in all of Europe was a place called Chamonix in France. It's in the French Alps. It's right near Mont Blanc, the tallest mountain in Europe, and it's like this spectacular valley with huge mountains on either side. And for some reason, when I was there, I was so inspired by the view that I decided to shave my head. Which
damn, like a monk, huh?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, let's be part of this. And so I shaved my head, and it turns out I have a head like a pumpkin. So
oh no.
if anyone can see me now or look at pictures of me, I've got like long hair now, and I'll never go short hair again because I figured out how I look with a shaved head. But that's the kind of power of a place like Chamonix.
Did you milk any cows when you're up there, or with a straight face?
I did not milk any cows. I did hook up with a Christian girl from Orange County who turned out like my shaved head. So
all right, I'm down for that. So you keep very nomadic lifestyle, very fun, creative inspiration. So you got into comedy there, you got into improv, and like did you get to meet any like cool people like Russell Brand or Kyle Legacy? Was he over there back then?
Oh no, yeah. That Kyle Legacy was. I just saw pictures of Kyle Legacy on the Russell Brand show, so that's a nice little callback. I was doing improv in LA mostly, and it was just around all of the best around there. There's like Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock was there every week. I met him a bunch of times. Matt Jones from the show Mom and the show Breaking Bad was there all the time doing improv. Got to hang out with him a bit.
So what kind of adventures does improv get you into? You're more outgoing, more confident. Maybe you're thinking faster. Does your brain kind of mush into this like witty persona?
The improv's all about saying yes to shit. So once you get into the spirit of saying yes, you end up doing all sorts of fun stuff. But
Yeah.
As a comedian, it's just the best thing because hanging around improvisers, it's just like being on a talk show the whole time. You're just always adding to each other's bits, and unlike stand-ups, there's no preciousness over who owns what bit and all that kind of stuff. You just kind of roll with it.
You're kind of the comes into handy. You kind of have this little like jackass behavior, and what happens when shit gets too real on stage? Have you seen shit get too real?
I have. I've confessed some things on stage that I've never confessed anywhere else, and
Okay.
and the good thing is people don't know if you're telling the truth or not. I've told some fucking true shit that's dark that people just assume I was making up. Thank God.
All right, we gotta hear one of these truths.
Well, it's a story I told on stage in the States right when I was first getting into comedy, and it was something I never thought I would tell anyone in my life. But it was the time I got dumped halfway through losing my virginity.
What? This is awesome. Oh my gosh. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry, but
No, laugh.
the name of the podcast, the whole thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
So okay. So I was like 20, and I'd really never been close to losing my virginity until that point. I only had my first kiss when I was 19, so I was pretty raw. And I met this cute young lady, and she was a bit more experienced than me, even though she was a few years younger than me. And we we were kind of dating, except for that I wasn't allowed to tell anyone that we were dating. So it was one of those fun relationships. I don't know. I still don't know why I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. I guess it wasn't the funnest period of my life. But I was at her parents were out of town, as in the classic way that it happens, and it was a hot day, and she invited me around to swim in a pool, and I came around to her pool, and she'd had a few drinks, and it was a hot, stinking hot day. So I'd had been drinking like shitloads of water that day just to cool down, and we were just kind of chatting about stuff, and we got chatting about sex, and then she was telling me she was asking me how come guys want blowjobs but they don't want to give oral sex, and I was like, what kind of guy wouldn't want to give oral sex to you? And she said, no one's ever done oral sex to me. It was a very lovely conversation. So I said, oh, I'll do it. If no one else will do it, I'll do it.
Like a hero.
And she was like, I'm a hero, fuck yeah. So I was like, all right, let's do this shit. She was already like in a bikini, and so that was pretty easy access. And I was going down on it for a while, and then it was like, okay, now have sex with me, and then okay, first time, and the rule is your first time, the all you're trying to do is not blow straight away.
Yeah.
You're trying to last as long as you want to last more than a minute or two, which is the tradition. So I was like literally watching the clock. It was on her living room floor, and I was watching the DVD. Might have even been a VCR, probably was back then, clock, and trying to just let the time add up. And then after a while, it became clear to me that I really, really, really needed to go to the toilet. Like, really needed to go. I had a mega full bladder. So I'm looking at the clock going, okay, now it's probably long enough so that I can finish this up and then get to the bathroom. But as you might know, and some of the listeners might know, when you really, really want to finish, that's when you can't finish. So I kept going, and I'm pumping away, and I'm just trying to get this done so I can get to the bathroom. And this is my first time, and the whole thing I'm thinking is just get it over and done with, but it's not working out. And so eventually I had to whisper into the girl's ear the sexiest words ever, I'm going to the toilet, and I went into the bathroom. Now, again, you might know this, Bishop, but when you have an erection, it's very hard to get your piss to come out and aim downwards.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could not fucking get this to happen, and it was a particularly low toilet for some reason, and I'm fucking doing my absolute best to get some piss in the toilet, and I'm spraying it all over the place, and then I had to wipe down everything that I'd sprayed on, And by the time I finished, I came back out and I'm thinking, all right, let's get back into this. Let's finish the job. And when I come back into the living room, she's completely dressed and I'm standing there naked, still with a heart on. And she says, I don't think this is working out for me. And that,
No. Why?
yeah,
What? Oh no.
yeah. I got dumped
What did you
right there and then.
in that moment of like bare necessity? You're just like exposed. You're like, what
It
do
was,
you do?
yeah, I was like, I can't remember if I guess I probably held my hands over myself. I know I begged a little bit. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I probably pretended, oh, you're just joking. No, no, let's get back into it. But like she was full dressed now. She was more dressed than she was when I cut over to her house. So like she was like very clear that she wanted to not be seen anymore. So I kind of fought it for a little bit. Didn't work out. Had to get dressed. That was a nice, painful, slow process. And then I went in my car and cried.
Hey, we all gotta let it out. Let it breathe.
You gotta, like, I'm a sensitive man. I gotta, lose your virginity and cry within half an hour. That's the dream.
Yeah, that's quite traumatizing, but awesome. Sort of now to have that story in your back pocket. It's
Yeah. Well, that was my second book I wrote, The Embarrassing Memory Murderer. That was what kind of set that in motion. Was I had these embarrassing stories that I'd been holding in my whole life and not telling anyone, and I realized, hey, you can tell some people these stories and they'll laugh, and that kind of takes away the power of the pain. So the Embarrassing Memory Murderer was all about trying to expose all my embarrassing stuff to try and find the laughter in it. Um, it ended up leading to me having a mental breakdown, but that's all fun and games as well.
yeah, it pretty much is. So damn, I can kind of relate to having a little
Mhm.
slips of breakdowns and trying when you're trying new things all the time. Sometimes you get like a pile of shit just hits you in the forehead, and you're just like, really? And you're just like, all right,
Yeah,
it's 50 times. So I kind of realized I was sort of setting those things in motion, and then I was like, all right, let's find like awesome things we can do every day. Ended up moving locations. Sometimes it just gets too heavy, and then you're like, let's
yeah.
get back on the surfboard, let's start paddling out, and get back up and fight those dragons, and you know, right on.
Absolutely, man.
So what are some awesome commercials that you've done, and what is sort of the process of getting into commercials? Because I know some people are thinking about getting into the entertainment field in some sort of capacity. How do you
Yeah.
rock that?
It's a hard game. The commercials, I've done a few. My latest one, I was for an insurance company where I played a guy who works at home, which was quite an exciting role. I got to pretend I was working and got paid money for that. My best commercial I ever booked was like a complete accident. I was doing my losing my virginity stuff, and I signed up for a company to be an extra because I thought, hey, it might be a way to get on TV or into the movies just to be in the background somewhere. And I I signed up and I did some extra work. Once I was part of 100 people that had to fill a stadium of 80,000. So they had us as 100 move like 300 times to keep filling, and then they'd CGI all the pictures of us in so there's like 1,000 of us each in the stadium. That was long and tedious but fun. But the Toyota commercial I did, they sent me an audition, and I didn't even know. I'd never done any acting. I'd never thought about acting. I was scared to death of the thought of acting, and for some reason I got sent on this audition by this extra company that don't normally do that. And I, I booked the commercial because I guess I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous like most actors. Like, oh, I've got to book this ad. I was just like, oh, I'm
Right.
just here. I'll just have fun with it. I didn't. Who cares? I mean, I don't want to be at the time. Certainly didn't want to be an actor. So it was just, I just had fun with it. And I just joked around with the casting people, and I didn't care about, how I came across or any of that stuff. I tried to be professional. So I booked that, and that was ended up being a surfer with a nice young lady, and they sent me down to this beautiful beach town. They put us up in a hotel, and I got paid a few $1,000s, and I just had to stand around on a beach with a surfboard under my arm, and it was insanely fun and awesome, and so much money for so little work. But then I've had 100 auditions that I haven't got anything from. So
Yeah, that's
that's
the
where.
struggle, right? Like you're like constantly on the hustle until you finally get your 10,000 hours, until you prove yourself. It's all relationships, it's digging in, just like the comedy scene when we were out in Sydney. It's like who you know, how many times you were awesome, how awesome can you give someone an HJ so they can get you on stage, and then you're just kind of and sometimes you don't find your footing. I went to a few agencies. I've done that little trial and tribulation, but I think the best way to do it is to start filming YouTube videos about yourself and seeing how that catches on.
I agree. I mean, it's the modern age these days. And apart from anything, if you want to be in the entertainment industry, you have got to create your own content because you can, because it's easy to do it. And if you're not doing it, then they're going to take a look at you, and they're going to take a look at, John Smith, who's made 100 YouTube videos and is clearly a worker and is working on their craft. Yeah, I mean, they want to see that you're a worker. So
be willing to fail 100 times. Be willing to craft your craftsmanship, build your style, your forte, and get universal and get well-rounded, right?
Exactly. You gotta, you can only get good by doing it. So it's that 10,000 hour thing. And I was actually thinking of starting a podcast called 10,000 Hours, and the whole thing was going to be trying to do 10,000 hours of podcast, and then the promise would be the podcast would be good after 10,000 hours. So you just have to sit through the 10,000 hours of getting good, but 10,000 hours is quite a long time of podcasting. So
yeah, it's tremendous, and getting guests sometimes can be a little hassle. Random question time. Are you a Justin Bieber believer?
Am I a believer?
Yes.
I am. I'm not a regular believer, but I heard someone I know was watching some Justin Bieber YouTube videos earlier. Have I missed out on anything?
Yeah, I'm a believer, That's how I roll.
Why not? Why not? Someone's gonna love him.
No, he gets on stage and makes fun of himself. I give him props for that. And can you imagine being in his shoes? Forget that. That'd be just way too much. It would be awesome the first year or two, 3 years, 4 years. Full on. I mean,
what I figured with Belieber is his entire life is dedicated to avoiding statutory rape.
Oh, for sure. Growing up.
No, because he's got 10 million 14-year-old girls that him and would do anything to bang him, and he spends his entire life having to say no to that shit because it's against the law.
Dude, I have a crazy story. I'm in Sydney. I'm down in the downtown area where it's like red light district. What's that called? The Cross? King's Cross. And I just moved there, and the rumor was Tuesday night Bieber was flying in town, and there was like this talk in the street. It's like all the hostels around, all the little nightclubs in red light district, like Bieber's here. Bieber's gonna be here, and and like where's he gonna be? Where's he gonna be? Where's Bieber? Where's the Beeps? And so, so I'm like, man, fuck that dude. I don't like Justin Bieber, and I'm like, but everywhere you heard the Bieb, like where's Biebs over here? You would just like see like 9 or 10 models like wearing like full on like Kim Kardashian get up, like Puma shoes, like high heels this long, and like fur coats and like fur skirts and, bikini, totally nude with a ribbon, so all that was going on.
Yeah.
So like I was like schmoozing, but I wasn't like hot enough. Like I wasn't a chick to kind of get in the line. And so like I'm trying to like work the bouncer routine and like, say like act like I'm part of the entourage or whatever. I was just trying to get in there. So I get in finally like 3 a.m. in the morning because that stays late. And like dudes on the couch near the piano, playing the piano like with one hand, wasted with like 20 girls around him. I was like, this dude is the shit. Like he's the man. Like you got to see like who he was like off stage a little bit. He's got his little high pitched voice. He's like, what's up, guys? Come over here. but like
we get my balls drop.
I give him credit. He's got endurance, man. He's got it because he was bouncing from club to club to club to performance in Melbourne, Sydney, 3 times in Sydney, and then he still had time to make all the headlines. So I don't know. The dude's kind of killing it in some ways with his new song. He's still killing it for like 10 years. Whatever. Another question. If you're, I know you're a golfer. I know you're a golfer, right? What?
I'm an golfer.
Are you still a golfer now?
Oh, a golfer?
Yeah.
I thought you said golfer. I don't golf much anymore. I enjoy it when I get the chance, but it's hard to get on a course these days. I do like some golf though.
All right, let me ask you this question, and I'm going to adjust something. If you were Tiger Woods, right? You're dating a Norwegian lady. Would you have the secret life he had, and how would you handle that?
I've often thought about this Tiger Woods issue, and I've always wanted to tell him, I don't know if he understands this, but you can be single. That's one of the things you're allowed to be. If you want to go bang a million chicks, and you can because you're Tiger Woods, don't have a wife. Just bang a million chicks and don't have to fly them in private jets and have 15 people covering it up for you. That's not fun, man. If you want to get banged and the only way you can do it is have 15 people put together a bloody a method to get these girls into the hotel without someone noticing it, that's insane. I say just be single.
Right. If you're at that point, because it's kind of like an automatic when you're that famous. You could see people bloodthirsty, like vampires when someone's famous around, just like the Justin Bieber story. And like I've seen work with the NFL players, and holy shit, like if you were that good, and I think it's just back to repression. If you repress yourself, and if you claim to be this one person squeaky clean, there's that Cosby effect where you're like you're suppressing, and all of a sudden it's going to come out. All that suppression, all that being closed off, all that truth withheld, like goes into like 50 porn stars and like a wife living that double life. And then like I was at a golf show the other day, and I was like, which is the club that Tiger Woods' wife chased him around the neighborhood with? And I was like, or is it? But
that should be a best-selling club. Get the club.
I'm
the club that can take out a SUV window.
So
I'll tell you
psychological effect on him right now, because he was the top of the world and everything. I don't think he can ever get back to that. That squeaky clean was his power, right?
Yeah, that was his. That's how he got by. I guess he lost the crowd as well. So people don't want him to win anymore. It's got to make it hard.
So you think the crowd and the squeaky clean image with his double life was like his superpower, or that the crowd and his squeaky clean image was like his like extra luck when he got on the court?
Yeah, I think it's a power. I think optimism and confidence are things that just work. And if the crowd wants you, it's the same in comedy. If you've got a crowd that's there and really wants to be happy and are really ready to laugh at stuff, they have a better time, and then you do better, and you kind of feed each other. It's got to be the same in golf. I know they're not allowed to cheer while they're playing shots, but it's got to be. I'm sure you don't see it on the news, But I bet every time Tiger's down at the course, he's getting heckled constantly from people. And there should be a YouTube video somewhere of just all the heckles that Tiger gets. I bet there's some funny stuff.
Yeah, there's got to be some good ones. I mean, I think it comes down to when everyone's kind of a little bit envious of someone or someone's life. It's like this trolling, this real life trolling, like enthusiasm. It's like, oh, this guy has it all, blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
The universe balances that out. It's all good.
Yeah. Karma, man.
That's cool. That's cool. What's your view on what's going on with what's your view on world peace ambitions? I know flipping the script over here.
I think we can be I'm for it. I'm for world peace. Let's do it. I don't think it's happening anytime soon, but I support it. I don't know. How's everyone's fear of ISIS over there?
Oh man, fear mongering left and right. But everyone's separating. Oh, I'm Democrat, I'm Republican, and then like 5 miles down the road is the CIA. 5 miles down the road there's the Halliburton, and there's 5 miles down the road is Northrop and Grumman. So you got the missile builders and all the other contractors, and then you go to the Hill and you start seeing like the pompous judges and the Scalia, and then you got the whole train wreck of Trump, Obama, fucking you got Bernie, you got Hillary. So it's becoming a full-on comedy show. I really believe that Trump is trolling the whole world right now, and
I think he's doing a great job of being the best troll ever. I tell you, I'm going for Bernie, and I don't have a clue what he stands for, other than a lot of people that I respect seem to respect him. But I go for Bernie for one reason only, because Larry David does a great impression of him, and I want to see more of that.
I do too. Why not? You get to see a lot more if he's elected.
Exactly. It's either that or another 8 years of fucking Clinton jokes or Trump hair jokes. How many hair jokes can they do?
1.5 million. There's a lot.
Can you imagine another 8 years of having to put up with people making fun of Trump's hair? That's a nightmare I don't want to live with.
I hope he just puts it like a samurai ponytail, like the man bun samurai, and just like a sword and a kimono.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, fuck it, my hair is better now. Ooh, samurai.
The hair is fixed.
No, there's some cool stuff happening. Like Jeb versus Trump right now. It's just like, sorry, Jeb. Like, it's like some schoolyard humor. He's like, sorry, you're not winning. You're never going to be winning ever. It's just like,
I know. It's fully like a school bully now.
Yeah, it's totally like that. And yeah, people were kind of, the clickbaits online every day. And it's just overwhelming. I'm just like, all right, whoever's going to do something, but whatever. You can't expect to know. But and did you hear about the Beyonce halftime show?
I did. It was a call. Was it a Black Lives Matter?
It was something like that. It's more divisive stuff that's going on in the States. And I'm right near Baltimore, so that went down when they had all sorts of riots going down, and there's a lot of movements, and it's like Will Smith and the whole Hollywood Oscars thing. So they're kind of like battling for skin color type of world. Yeah. And I heard today, like Morgan Freeman was like 10 minutes away, just at a steakhouse in Georgetown, where nearby. And he was with Morgan Freeman and Tom Hanks and Obama. And I'm like, that's kind of a dope coalition right there. Like, I'm sure like Tom Hanks and Morgan Freeman being like that really smart astronomer mind versus like Tom Hanks, he's like super gifted and all that stuff. And he's probably just offering advice right after the day that he came out against Trump, saying he'll never be president. And then Trump responding back, like trolling Obama again, like, I would have beat you last term. So there's all this like political like, jargon. So you're getting this like updated reality show. So it's kind of exciting to hear that. And then you got like, campaigners like getting brawls and all sorts of like people wearing shirts at the rallies. I mean, it's everyone's getting into it. It's like a sporting team. So
it's kind of exciting. Maybe
yeah,
we
but
need
it's
to
also they're breaking down like crazy stuff. Like they're breaking down like all sorts of Illuminati stuff. They're talking about like big banks, big budget. They're talking about who really runs the world. He's talking about Russia, how he'll do this, do that, and like he'll expose the truth. Like a lot of times on both sides, Bernie or Trump, they'll expose like a lot of facts and a lot of like 9/11 stuff. They'll expose some of the war efforts destabilizing the Middle East, refugee stuff, all sorts of real talk. So the first time forever, I'm like, I can understand world leaders that are actually speaking truth. It's like for the first time, truth is in. It's like this is the season for truth, you know. So I'm like, this is like the same stuff me and my buddies get stoned and talk about, you know. It's like,
well, you're right. It's for the first time ever. Extreme points of view have the power. It used to be politicians would all be about, you know, trying to beat around the bush and not actually say anything and just be right down, you know, try not to offend anyone. Now they're like, just offend people.
yeah, they're getting flame thrown. Right? If they pull that politics talk, they're getting flame thrown.
Yeah.
Right on.
And yeah. Last time I was in the States, I was in what state was I in? North Carolina.
Oh shit.
And yeah, I did a road trip from Florida to New York, and we were in North Carolina, and we were staying in this little town, and there were like 9 different fucking doomsday shops just selling guns and camo and like stuff for your bunker. It was all ready to go in case the world ends and you're gonna have to hide away in your bunker and come up and shoot the lizard people or whatever. It was pretty fascinating.
That's dope, actually. What was it like? Where you know where you were?
Yeah, what was it? Asheville, maybe something like that. No, not Asheville. I can't remember exactly the name of the town. It was a small little town. We were staying in a hostel, and it was just like these guys that would sell. You know, it was stuff to build bunkers, but all these fucking weapons and stuff. I didn't go in. I was too scared to go in. I just looked through the window. But
yeah, I would too. No, but on the real, like, there's 2 different types of Americans, or maybe 3 different types. There's like these people who live out in the forest, and they're like savages. So they're really like built to like hunt, fish, you know, all sorts of primitive ideas of, you know, how to build houses. It's like full on like the 1800s. And then you got like these city dwellers that have been reformed, and you got, you know, the office workers, and then you got like, you know, California full of surfers, upgraded Colorado and the marijuana rush, and you have, you know, people that are socialists, you know, people that are into, you know, so there's a little blend going on now. There's not like, used to be just like Republican Democrat persona. Now there's like, you know, 100 nations living in America, and they adapt, but there's so much, it's like a blender, and you're getting like, you know, so many different personas. But for the most part, our military comes from the South or more lower impoverished areas, and then you have you know, the officers graduating from, you know, the you know, the higher ranking schools and stuff like that. So you have that elitism from the Citadel, the West Points, and you have those mindsets, but you still have the hunter mentality. So I feel like that's very primitive. It's maybe like old school Irish, old school European, old school French. You know, you have that like military mind, like almost like knights still. But, you know, they're like out there shooting since they're 4 years old in Texas and whatever.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to have a strong military these days. You never know. Like, there's whack jobs in our borders right here, but fuck it, man. We're having a good time. Hopefully the rest of the world bounces out. We get this economy running. We get this paper. San Francisco is doing some cool stuff. I don't know if you know, but are you into artificial intelligence?
Not that much. I don't know much about it, but I'm ready to have a robot if there's one ready for me.
I'm down, dude. Me too. Do you know this guy named Ken Sanderson, I believe his name is? He won Jeopardy 65 times. He was on for 1 straight.
I think I do know about him.
Yeah, check this out. So IBM built a robot to face him in a cyber warfare of Jeopardy. And what do you think happened? What do you think happened? Do you think what predictions?
I reckon he beat it.
No way. No, he actually got creamed. 16 times, I believe. And he does a TED Talk. Check out the TED Talk. And there's another one where there's a virtual hangout. So there's doing VR headsets, and a lot of Singularity University graduates are starting to go on this VR platform. So you can have these interviews. You could be like, so you're sitting next to a gingerbread man, or you're sitting next to a koala bear. You know, you would be a koala bear maybe. You know, and I would be whatever, like some little giraffe on a motorcycle. I don't know, something. So you can sit on a platform. So VR is getting to be the next level. It's almost like, you know, in Detroit or some car city or so factory city, it's just like the robots are replacing. But then, you know, you need the operation systems, you need the IT world. So tech industries starting to like make our lives way too easy. I mean, this phone right here is just my digital key to everything. So do you guys have artificial intelligence yet in Australia?
I don't know. We're pretty far behind, I think. We just let you guys do it, and we'll just take the good stuff when you're.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is. What are your favorite recreational substances to use?
What was that? My favorite recreational what?
Substances. Fun stuff.
Oh, I'm an Aussie. I'm a beer man.
Nice. Do you guys have crack beer so far?
I don't know if we have crack. We've got an ice problem in the country at the moment. Meth. That's taken over some stuff. They just caught $1 billion worth of it that was getting shipped in.
Whoa! Yeah, you guys are pretty diligent there. You guys kind of live there. I love it there. It's one of the best places in the world. If you got to go to Australia, go to Australia. It's awesome. But you guys kind of you have like the system. You have everything in control almost. It's good, like in a way.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of people, so you can still control it. Do you want to see Australia more like America, or do you want to see it old school? Keep it old school.
I love America. I spent a long time in America, and I hope to live there again one day soon. Hopefully, if I win the green card lottery next time it comes around.
Well, come here, man. You're invited. You're invited. Let's go.
Well, thank you. Oh, I can come for short times. They won't let me stay long term yet. It's hard for us refugees of poor nations to get into your country.
No, you got to come through Mexico, bro. Just come up.
I know you can get in, and you can stay. You could stay illegally, but if you want to be staying illegally, it's very difficult. So one day, America will let me in.
Man, you got to get a little a sombrero, and you're straight, dude. You're straight. Come in.
I go through one of those tunnels. They build a wall, but there's lots of tunnels down there, I'm told.
Yeah, there's tons. You can come in on a boat and fly in, and you're good, man.
Oh, good. I'll kite surf in one day.
I want to see that. What's let me ask you a question. What do you take from the movie The Matrix? Do you believe it's reality?
Oh, good question. Sometimes I think it's true. Sometimes I think that I can go on like I don't smoke weed, but I can go on some weed journeys without it. Sometimes I think we're all just a figment of someone else's imagination, or sometimes I think that life started this second, and everything that's existed, everything I remember, that was just planted into my brain and all of our brains, and there was no actually any history. It was just planted into us just like it could have happened just this second. And the last 10 seconds I was talking, it didn't really happen. We just think it did.
Nice. Yeah, there's something. So there's a Neo, or what? Or did you?
I think it's very possible that there's a Neo, but I wouldn't want to go on the other side.
What?
It didn't seem.
Which side? Agent or Neo?
The side where Neo ends up, where it'd be good to learn karate, pretty easy. I wouldn't mind that, and fly definitely. But why hang out on that other side? Where just hang out in the Matrix, man. It's way more fun.
Yeah, that's dope. There is truth to that, but when when you finally like start up the engine and awake, it's a trip, man, because everything you see through different lenses. It's like everyone's drunk. You got these shades on. You're like, whoa, what is going on? Oh no, this is what I've been doing, man. Oh man, I'm controlled. I've been eating poison. What am I doing? Let's go. You did take off to Europe, and that's why I've been heading over to Australia, having these adventures. Because I don't know, man. I think that like if you don't have an awesome life, you die slowly. You know.
Yeah. What opened up your doors of perception, so to speak?
Yeah, man. I mean, you've had some intimate conversations with me. Yeah, so interesting. So, for me, it was more like I read a book, and I knew me and my friend used to say when we were like 14 years old, we're like, live life to the fullest, bro. Let's enjoy, man. Enjoy. Let's have pool parties. Blah blah blah. You never know. So we had that little like mentality, like we were always throwing shindigs and we were always having concerts and we were always, living the good life, having the ladies, having the people, having the fun crowd come around. And yeah, it was a tandem experience. My man E and J, we enjoyed that. And then I started getting older and I was like, damn, college is kind of weak sauce. Like I'm not really learning. How come they don't teach us about the way to make money, the way to start companies, the way to like live the awesome life? And so I was like, I need to be awesome. I need to make some money. So like I started going down that path, and I saw this movie called Zeitgeist, and it was right around the time like after Fahrenheit 9/11 went down, and like they're explaining how the world went down, and how the government knows this person's all connected, and I'm going, damn. And then like The Matrix came out, and I was like, oh, this is entertaining. This is. Yeah, I love it. It was entertaining. I had bombs coming out, like Neo doing backflips, doing some sensei karate stuff. So I was like, it kind of made sense because I was always been into martial arts and training myself and training my mind. And then I'm like, all right, something clicked after I read this book called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. And he has a sensei in the show that's actually a mechanic. And the mechanic comes up to him during his injury. He was a gifted athlete in the Berkeley area, and the sensei fixes his car and then starts telling him how to eat right, how to live right, how to take supplements, how to sleep, how to meditate, how to control the mind. And like he was basically saying, you're talented, but you don't have the chi, the inside chi, like a warrior has. And so it's like, then he's finally like started working, and it's like that montage in the movie. And he started getting to that next level. So what I noticed big time is that when that happened, I was like, man, there's more to life. There's more than there's many religions. There's this and that. So there was something that awoke during that time. Let's just say that. And I think that was one moment. And then I rewatched The Matrix, and I was like, boom, I understand it. It's on. And, that's basically what it was. But I really think that, like, just going down the search of reading my own books, started thinking for myself, started eating healthy, started meditating a little bit more, doing things outside the norm, having different experiences. And then what hit it off was traveling. Because everything I've been told was, like, the world's dangerous, this and that. But I actually found people that are really pleasurable and just the best people ever when I was traveling. They were really helpful. They were coming around, giving you more props for, just being who you are rather than where you're from, what you're doing. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell, and that's coming into consciousness, and I'm hoping to teach more people how to do that. There's got to be a system. I don't know exactly. We're going to be breaking that down, but it's really coming to terms with your trauma, coming to terms with doing funny things, doing cool stuff again, coming back into being a kid, if you can agree with that, coming back into, yourself. All right, so thanks so much for coming on. I'm stoked to talk to you. Thanks for your adventures. And, man, it was great talking to you. Let's do this again, and let us know upcoming projects. We're going to promote that. Check out David's books. They're in the show notes, but 52 Ways to Lose Your Virginity is a killer action book, killer way to Step outside of the comfort zone, step outside the box, step into your reality, step into your life chosen path. And then check out Gnarly for Namaste. Awesome way too. It's all action oriented, choosing your own adventure. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace out.